Life of Yunus Emre, Wheat and Life. Yunus Emre was born in Saraköy, an Anatolian village, at a time when the Mongols from the east and the Crusaders from the west were pressuring Anatolian lands. This environment shaped his material and spiritual world. And while continuing his spiritual seeking, he often visited cemeteries in order to complete his motivation internally. Yunus Emre interrogated himself with the following questions in his self-examination. Who am I? Why did we come into the world if we were going to die? Every human being who comes into the world should have a duty, and this duty should not be to satisfy simple desires such as feeding, mating, and reproducing. Animals can do this too. As the days passed like this, due to the famine, the elders of his village decided to send Yunus Emre to Hacı Bektaş Veli's village to receive help. Yunus Emre, who was searching for answers about existence in his inner being, thought, "In our tradition, one does not go anywhere empty-handed, but there was nothing in the village that I could offer as a gift," and collected hawthorns. While traveling on the road, with the desire to get food for his village, he listened to the beauty and miracles of Hacı Bektaş Veli from the people he met. When he reached the village, the locals of that village said to Yunus, "Let our Sultan rest. Let him be our guest for 3 days. Then we will fulfill your wishes." Yunus Emre was accepted into the presence of Hacı Bektaş Veli at the end of 3 days. Seeing the old, white-haired, bearded, handsome Hacı Bektaş Veli, Yunus Emre could not understand what the source of the secret of Hacı Bektaş Veli's beauty was. After kissing Hacı Bektaş Veli's hand, Yunus briefly explained the circumstances and asked for wheat for his villagers. Hünkar smiled at Yunus's hastiness, recognized the potential in him, and asked after a silence, "Do you want breath or wheat?" Yunus Emre replied, "My peasants are hungry. I demand wheat." His Majesty insisted, "Well, do you want breath for every hawthorn grain you bring, or wheat?" Yunus again quietly said, "I want wheat. My village's peasant is hungry." Hünkar continued to insist, "What if I give you as much breath as each seed of hawthorn? Would you still want wheat?" Yunus Emre replied, "Sir, I don't know what breath is, what it does. The people of my village are eagerly waiting for wheat." When Hacı Bektaş Veli realized that it would be useless to insist on him, he sighed, "Okay, my son, let it be as you wish," and sent Yunus Emre away with permission. On the way back to his village, Yunus Emre was immersed in thoughts such as, "What is breath? Should I have said, explain it first?" And during these inquiries, lightning suddenly flashed in his heart. Hünkar Hacı Bektaş Veli's breath is wisdom, truth, and resurrection. Yunus Emre realized that Hünkar Hacı Bektaş had offered him immortality, the resurrection of the heart, and that he had made a mistake and regretted it. Thus, Yunus Emre turned his cart halfway back to the village of Hacı Bektaş Veli. He returned to Hacı Bektaş Veli's village to receive his gift. He told the villagers there that he wanted breath and that he did not need wheat. However, Hünkar said, "We have offered the key of his heart, bestowal, and fortune to Tapduk Emre. Let him go and take his breath from him. Tapduk is also one of us." No crooked wood. After leaving the wheat in his village and explaining all the events to his relatives, Yunus Emre went to Tapduk Emre's lodge. Yunus Emre said to the Turkish elder Tapduk Emre, "Give me breath, make me human." Tapduk Emre expressed to Yunus Emre that his state was known to them, and he offered him the information he needed: serve, show labor, get your reward. And so Yunus was accepted to the lodge. Yunus Emre started to work in the lodge in this direction. Under the supervision of his spiritual teacher, he worked as a woodcutter, never once carrying crooked wood to that holy lodge. This condition, of course, did not unnoticed by Turkish Emre, and he asked Yunus as follows, "Is there no crooked wood in the forest?" Yunus answered this as follows, "There is crooked wood, but the crooked wood cannot enter this lodge." Yunus the woodcutter worked diligently for 40 years under the guidance of his spiritual teacher. Alhamdulillah. One day, the sorrowful Yunus Emre realized that the rope he used to tie his firewood was not with him. He searched left and right in panic. In the midst of this search, a black snake came out of the surroundings and wrapped the wood tightly to help Yunus Emre. The snake was entangled in the wood. Yunus Emre realized what was happening and took the wood on his back. Thus, Yunus carried the wood to where it needed to be carried. The Murids who saw this were astonished and jealous of the miracle shown by Yunus Emre. They started a rumor that Yunus Emre had eyes on Turkish Emre's daughter and his position. These followers appeared before Turkish Emre one day and conveyed their untrue claims about Yunus Emre to Turkish Emre. In this case, Turkish Emre gave them the following answer: "Then go and beat him up, so that he will come to his senses. Then throw him out of the door." They, in turn, attacked Yunus. Yunus Emre's head remained inside the door of the lodge during this attack and exclaimed, "Alhamdulillah, my head is still inside." Turkish Emre, who witnessed this, screamed at that moment and told the other members of the lodge to let Yunus go immediately, that he had found what he was looking for. "You were waiting for an opportunity. I gave you a moment's respite. You were going to tear him to pieces," he said angrily to the other disciples. Afterwards, Turkish Emre cleaned Yunus' wounds with tears. This moment of fracture, when Yunus's superior qualities were revealed, he healed his wounds with being a cure for him. He healed Yunus with compassion. However, Yunus Emre stated that he could no longer stay in the lodge and left by asking permission from Turkish Emre. Thus, Yunus Emre left his holy lodge and went on the road. Food descending from the sky. After Yunus Emre left the dervish lodge of his murshid, upon the events he experienced, he came across two dervishes on the road. Yunus Emre asked them where they were going, and they replied, "In the unknown, we are subject to what Allah has given us. We go whichever way our path is turned." Thereupon, Yunus Emre asked permission and joined them. Along the way, first one of the virtuous men who were hungry, and then the other one prayed to Allah for a meal to be served from the sky, and this wish of the virtuous men was fulfilled. When they were hungry for the third time, they said to Yunus Emre, "Come on, dervish, it's your turn. Say a prayer, and the dinner table will descend for you too." Yunus raised his hands to pray, not knowing what to do. "O Lord, do not embarrass this humble servant of yours. I ask for the sake of whomever these beloved servants asked for those foods." As soon as Yunus' prayer was over, they saw not one, but two pieces of food descending from the sky. Then the dervishes asked, "O strange dervish, we prayed, and one supper came down. You prayed, and two supper came down. What is the wisdom of this? For whose sake did you ask for this table?" Yunus Emre said to them, "For whose sake did you ask? Tell me first, and then I will tell you." The dervishes answered him as follows: "We have searched and scanned the world of spirituality, and we have seen a person named Yunus who has a high position in the sight of Allah and a very great honor. Here we asked for his honor." Hearing this, every particle of Yunus began to tremble, and he complained as follows: "O my Taptuk, O my Sultan, what a state you have made me, what a maturity you have brought me to, how you have prepared me, but I was unaware of it." So the dervishes asked Yunus, "And on whose behalf did you pray?" Yunus replied, "Never mind, I am going back." And he started walking towards his Taptuk with self-awareness. The oneness in Allah. Yunus Emre reached the lodge again. Taptuk Emre's old lady said to him, "Yunus, I love you, my son. You are an honest, hard-working, good moral child. I know they wronged you. However, my Taptuk was very sad after you. He became blind from crying every day with the pain of losing you." After hearing this, Yunus's regret increased even more. Yunus begged the old lady of Taptuk, "I beg you, my dear good-hearted one, to make things right between me and my Taptuk," with increasing remorse. Upon this, that wise Anatolian woman, Haji Mother, said to Yunus, "He will soon go out for ablution. He walks with a cane because he is blind. You lie down on the threshold. When the cane gets stuck on you, he will ask, 'Lady, who is this?' I will say, 'Yunus.' And if he says, 'Yunus who?' walk away without making a sound. He is obviously very angry with you. If he says, 'Our Yunus,' hug him and kiss his hands." Yunus started to wait at the door. Taptuk's footsteps were heard, and Taptuk's walking stick caught Yunus. Taptuk asked, "Lady, what is that in this place?" When Taptuk received a reply from his wife, "It is Yunus, sir," he asked, "Is he our Yunus?" Yunus Emre thus appeared and said, "Forgive me, pardon me. You have given me so much, and I have not understood it," he sobbed to Taptuk. Upon this, Taptuk Emre told him the following: "O Yunus, we had prepared you as a closed box to our Allah. We were going to present you as a gift without opening your mouth, but you were in a hurry and had the box opened. From now on, it will not be closed. Say whatever comes to your heart. Tell it now. You are a lover now, a lover of truth. You love everyone. You love even those who beat you to death. Your job is to love now. Your job is to be useful to humanity. You can't have enemies, Yunus, because you love even those who are hostile to you. No one can be angry with you." Yunus Emre, who was introduced to everyone in this way and whose fame spread everywhere, had sentences poured into his heart, drop by drop, from Allah after that day. He, in turn, expressed them and made everyone marveled. Yunus Emre and Taptuk Emre sometimes spoke, sometimes shared the same feelings and states, sometimes did not speak, and looked at each other with a lot of love. They spent days full of Allah's discourse. These two precious people found unity in Allah. Meeting of the lovers. On one of his journeys for spirituality, Yunus Emre asked an innkeeper how he could go to Konya. The innkeeper's answer to Yunus was, "Join the Khorasan saints. They are going to Hazrat Rumi." And Yunus Emre started his journey towards Hazrat Rumi together with the Khorasan saints. When they came near Konya, the saints wanted semolina halva and called out, "O Maulana the Rumi, we are very hungry. Why don't you set a table for us and prepare semolina halva so that we can eat it?" They also asked the quiet Yunus, "What do you want? What is your desire from him?" Yunus Emre answered them as follows: "I wish for Rumi's affection." When they arrived in Konya, the saints were welcomed by Hazrat Rumi Maulana with the smell of fresh semolina halva and a smiling face. However, Yunus Emre knelt behind the door before he was seen by Hazrat Maulana. Mevlana, who welcomed his guests standing up, hugged them one by one, saying, "Welcome, masters. Welcome, my dears. However, it seems as if he cannot find what he is looking for. Rumi said to the masters, "You asked for halva, and I made it. One of you had asked for my essence, my truth. But where is he? I cannot see him," he asked. At that moment, Yunus came to their minds. Amidst the murmurs of the dervishes who said, "Where did this strange person disappear to? We had entered together." Mevlana's eye was caught by a person who was bent on his knees behind the door. Unable to say, "I am here, I wanted you," out of decency, Yunus Emre sat there silently in tears. With a voice resembling a moan, Rumi said, "Oh my dear," and went towards Yunus and hugged him. Thus, these two great hearts met in the unity of divine love. Our Hazrat Rumi asked Yunus Emre to stay with him and be his companion. However, Yunus Emre said to Hazrat Rumi, "Loneliness is for you and wandering is for me. I was told, go, travel, tell. I must continue until I am told to stop. It is not good for me to stay in one place for a long time." After these words, Yunus bid farewell to Rumi. Yunus is still alive with his immortality, with his beautiful sayings, from tongue to tongue, from heart to heart, in the whole world today. Yunus is wherever he is remembered. He was born like a sun in Anatolia. He is in the hearts of those who love him. And his life has become a syllable in which all human meaning, all experiences, cognitions, sciences, materiality, and spirituality, non-existence and existence are united. That syllable is the divine love. Selected sayings from Yunus Emre. Wisdom is to recognize wisdom. Wisdom is to recognize oneself. A few words are the burden of man, and a lot of words are the burden of animal. A word finishes wars. A word gets a man beheaded. A word can become a poisonous injection, and a word can become sweet butter and honey. The greatest worship is to love. I tried to make sense of the 4 books until love arrived, and it all became a single syllable. When love arrives, all needs and flaws are gone. I am the drop that contains the ocean. We became a trickle that grew into a river. Don't let me wander from your love. Don't let me leave your door, and if I lose myself, let me find myself with you. Tongue speaks, ear listens, the heart speaks, and the universe listens. If I told you about a land of love, friend, would you follow me and come? Whatever separates you from the truth, throw it away. It will vanish anyhow. My heart is the throne of the beloved. Your sentences are right if you are right. There is no right if you are awry. Why are you scared of dying when you are forever? Whoever has patience has rewards. The house of God is hearts. I have come to build hearts. That who loves never dies. I don't have joy at abundance. I don't have sorrow at absence. I console myself with your divine love. All I need is you. I didn't come here to fight. My job is to love. Love that is created because of the Creator. There is another me deep within me. I was put in bone and flesh to appear as Yunus. Come, let's hold hands and get to know each other. Let's keep things simple. Let's love and be loved. This world doesn't belong to anyone.